Good morning. It is, what is it? October 12th, 2023. On a Thursday, this is Windows Daily Helpline number 308, where myself and the chat room stand ready to respond to your questions that are sent to me by email at this address or comments on any of my videos or questions asked in the chat room. I have some follow-ups to things that we talked about yesterday. And what else? Yeah, I think that's all. And I don't think Ken Stout is expecting to be around this morning. I know he wasn't going to have a show this morning, and I haven't seen him in chat. Ken Stout, are you here? Because I've got a lot of follow-ups for things that you brought up yesterday in one form or another. But even if you're not here, I'm going to go ahead and talk about these things because I don't have other topics to talk about. Oh, he is here. Oh, very good. Then let's start first, and this was more of a Doug question than a Ken question that I'll start with. That had resolutions. I asked him if he would be so kind as to display his monitor choices, resolution choices, since he has 4 different monitors. He has a 40-inch Element, he has an HP 21KD display, 2 of those, and a television set, and I captured those after his video was over. And yes, indeed, this 1440-900 does not appear over here. It does appear on this one and this one. This one, 1280 by 960, does not appear on this one, does not appear on this one, and does not appear on this one. Let's see, be right in there, 1280. Then this one, 1440 by 900, does not, it does show up there, it does show up there, and it does not show up over here, which actually I guess that's a little bit redundant. And of course, those are the same display. At first glance, a person might have looked at all of those lists and say, oh, those look the same to me, but you got to go look at it in more detail to tell that. Because when he actually displayed those, I was wondering, am I wrong about that? Is it not the monitors? Is it just the display adapter? Because those, they, at first glance, looked like they were the same. Indeed, they're not. Now, that wasn't Ken's question. That was my question. But then I do have some other things. Now, Ken, at the beginning of yesterday's video, I showed how to possibly how to fix the launching of your DaVinci Resolve so that it would launch in middle screen mode instead of maximized. And I didn't see you try that. So if you missed that part, it was right click on your desktop icon, choose properties, and then change right here where it says run. I suspect that yours right now says maximize. So if you change it to normal window instead of maximized, see if that solves that issue for you. Then going on to the next, I have these 4 different clips of Ken's show yesterday to respond to some things. So here's the first clip. I have these, this one is right here, the second one is on this second tab, and so forth. So I have these clips here, and I'll press play, and it's unmuted. You should be able to hear it.
Maybe turn off dual screen first, then go to primary screen. See, it's set to number 1, which DaVinci is recognizing it. Let's put it as number 2. All right. Now, if I go into workspace here, maybe turn off dual screen first.
Oh, that just started again. The clip just plays over and over and over. But first, I want to point out here on this option,
turn off dual screen.
This one right here, that's not a toggle. You can't click it to remove the check mark. You have to click on something else on that list in order to remove the check mark from the on setting. And this is something that I see. First, let's see if we can see. Yeah, see, some of these have check marks. Sometimes the check marks is a toggle where you can click to remove the check mark. Sometimes it's not. So I think that threw you for a little loop there. Then going on to the next one. Let me see what the, and I see your comment about that it was set on normal for you already, so that solution didn't work for you. Now this one, I won't use dual monitor, is what you're saying on this next one.
Couple reasons why I won't use the dual monitor at all. And that is, I don't like the fact that either I haven't figured out how to turn it off, and I've tried 7 different ways to Sunday, or there's a bug right now in that when you exit out of dual screen, it's not exiting out like it should. I should not have to turn off DaVinci Resolve in order to get back to where I'm at right now, which is the screen right there. Couple reasons.
Okay. So that's the end of that one. I agree with you. You should not have to exit and come back in. And I think the solution to that may have to do with how you're dealing with those check marks on those menus. Don't have a definite answer for you, but I say encourage you to keep going down that road, because no, you shouldn't have to exit. Now, let's see, I think you said dual monitor, dual screen. My impression of what that dual screen is probably doing is so that you can have one of these panels on another monitor. I'm not entirely convinced that that's what dual screen does in DaVinci Resolve. So then here's the third one. What's the third one about? The third one is about, checkmark is not a toggle. Oh, we saw that on the first one.
We're going to go down to viewer mode. We're going to go into clean feed. We're going to change it from this. We're going to uncheck none.
Yeah.
Video clean feed. Okay, so apparently this is going to just make me so mad. Let's try it this way. On workspace video clean feed 2. Oh, finally. So now, big round of applause for myself. Good job, Ken. Way to go, Ken. Yeah.
I think I just realized what I did wrong here. I think this one back here, this first one, I was trying to show something. Yeah, I was trying to show something different here, because I don't think you realize what happened when you clicked on a different choice
set
here.
To number 1, which DaVinci is recognizing it. Let's put it as number 2.
So watch what happens to what you were putting out to YouTube when you click on number 2. I don't think you noticed this. So here I'm going to play this again. There, when you clicked on that, it actually changed the display that OBS was sending out to YouTube. So I think when you make this choice here, you're actually changing the primary display for Windows, not for DaVinci Resolve. And when you make this your primary display in DaVinci Resolve, choosing that option, DaVinci Resolve, it actually changes your display in Windows, which also affects your monitor configurations in OBS. Because when you're saying that you want this monitor to be your primary, then OBS has immediately changed which display you're sending out to YouTube without you making any changes in OBS. So let's see, back here, where was that on when you're showing the different monitors in your Windows setup? I think they get rearranged possibly by you clicking on those choices in DaVinci Resolve, because it's actually changing which monitor is your primary display for Windows. Now, let's go on to the fourth one. Monitors are messed up again. Oh, I think this is where you're showing this. You're showing these here and you say they're messed up again, and I think that's happening because you make the changes in DaVinci Resolve, which is actually controlling Windows primary display, and you weren't realizing that. And I wouldn't have expected that either.
So monitor number 1. Now see, my monitors are all messed up again. It should be 1, 2, 4, or it should be 1, 4, 2, 3, but they got screwed up. An update, who knows?
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe it was just DaVinci. Now, another thing is your monitor orders here can also be affected by changing your cable connections on the display adapter, or changing which cable is connected to your monitor. I've even seen where I have one monitor connected, let's suppose, from an HDMI port to using some kind of an adapter to a DVI port, and then I decide I want to change that, so I go from that same HDMI port to a HDMI port, maybe on a different monitor, and I'm expecting that different monitor to be the same display that used to be operating from that HDMI port of the graphics card. Meaning, if you change what type of cable is being used, or whether there's an adapter or not that changes the type of connector, that can have an adverse impact on your display. Now, there's another piece that is visible in Windows 11, and you're not on Windows 11, but because this capability is here in Windows 11, it makes me realize that this might be an issue for Windows 10 that you aren't able to control. On a multi-monitor setup, Windows 11 gives us some extra checkboxes for multiple displays that you don't see in Windows 10. And this one, remember Windows location based on monitor connection. So we can tell Windows 11, no, do not remember Windows locations based on the monitor connection. Remember them, what? By some other reason. I don't quite understand how is it going to remember the Windows locations if it's not by how they're connected to the display adapter? Because Windows operating system can't possibly know where the monitors are set on your desk, saying that, okay, whichever monitor you physically place on the right side of your desk, I'm going to treat that as number one. There's no way that Windows can know where the monitors are placed. So I don't quite understand what's going on there, but how is Windows 10 handling this issue of remembering where the monitors are located? This kind of answers some weird things that I've seen in the past when I'm trying to fix the arrangement of monitors. All right, now that gets me through all of those links for cans, and then I say resolution choices dependent on monitor. What am I doing here? I wanted to show something that's in that folder, so let me go find that. Oh, I think I already have that up, don't I? No, that was a different subject. Not that one. All right. Come on, Doug. You're supposed to be quicker at this. I'm coming, I promise. Let's see, set for 12:35. Oh, you have a stream coming up. All right, 12:35. I guess that means 9:35 my time. LiveWindowsTraining, can you replay that first one again? He asked for it. Okay. Oh, that was just the resolution choices. I'd already shown that. That's what I had there. He's asking for that first clip. Let's go here. This clip.
Off dual screen first, then go to primary screen. See, it's set to number 1, which DaVinci is recognizing it. Let's put it as number 2.
Now, I want to point out another thing here. These two are worded the same. And I don't think it's safe for you to think that this one is what Windows reports as display number 1. It might be, but I don't totally trust that. It seems to me that DaVinci is affecting the Windows screens here. So this might be the same order that you see in the Windows display settings. But when you change which one is primary, that might change these numbers to where The monitor that used to be generic PNP monitor 2 is now monitor number 1, and the numbers actually change position. Possible.
All right. Now, if
Now,
I go into workspace,
is that what you were referring to as the first one? Because when you clicked on monitor number 2 to make that primary, the YouTube started seeing a different monitor right there.
All right.
Is that what you were asking for? Let's see. We'll do live stream and test your theory. Can you replay that first one again, please? I'm reading backwards on your comments. I did that and it is set to normal. Okay. But yet when you launch DaVinci, it's still coming in full screen, right? Let me do another possible thing here. Just another idea that came to mind. I'm going to try OBS for this test. Let's see. Here's OBS coming in. Up here in this upper left corner of the title bar, do we get any window choices here? We do not. Okay. How else could I demonstrate that? This way. No, I'm trying that with Notepad. Whatever icon is in the upper left corner, check that out for DaVinci and see if you get a properties choice. And if DaVinci is opening in maximize mode, instead of doing the medium size here, try coming over to this icon in the upper left and change it to restore, and then close DaVinci and relaunch it. So making your change of the screen size in the upper left instead of the upper right. Okay, now I think I've covered everything. I'm going to go catch up with chat. Pop out chat, make it bigger. Actually, I want to go change the redirect. Gotta refresh that screen. Oh, whoops! Oh, I'm on the Grandpa Doug YouTube channel, so I can't even access that now. Here we go. And I'll go into the live studio, and I'll set a redirect for Ken's show. All right, the fix is in. Then back to chat. Zoom it in. Nick Poverman, I didn't think I was going to make it to the bowling alley in time for my reservation, but I had time to spare. If I change that to live chat, yeah, now I can see it all. Alice, hello, Nick Poverman, the inventor of the ballet skirt, was struggling for a name until he finally put 2 and 2 together. Rick Lakes, hello, Selden Ball. There's Ken, plans have changed. Bobby Warren, hello. Did that set to normal. Good morning from Sin City. Speedy C. Ken Stout, can you replay the first one? Did that. That would make sense. I'm here to see it. Maybe I already did replay that one before I saw your request. I am here, see it in DDR mode, DVD mode. Ken Stout, I will do live stream test your theory. Mike Wojcik, about 2 minutes back from Josh K. Cordius. Did I miss some names? I don't think so. Forgive me if I did. Brian Lightfoot, let's do a 12-hour live stream sometime in the future. Good idea, party time. And that was to Ken, not to me, because you know Doug's not going to do that. If you didn't know that, you know it now. Ran Israel, hello. In the display settings window, click Advanced Display. Click Display Adapter Properties for display number. Click on List All Modes button to access all resolutions. Interesting. Display adapter properties for display number. Okay. Let's see. In display settings, advanced display, right there. Display adapter properties for display 1. Display adapter properties for display number. Click on List All Modes to access all resolutions. Display adapter properties for display 1. List all, right here, list all modes. So this looks like it gets more, oh, I see what it's doing. When you select a resolution, you could also select a different refresh rate. So that's what it's displaying, all those different modes. But I'm still thinking that it would only be displaying resolutions that the monitor is capable of. I'm thinking the only extra thing you're getting here is to be able to see the alternative bit rate and the alternative refresh rate for each of those resolutions. I don't think you're actually getting more resolutions here. Am I missing something about that, Rand? Do you agree with my statement there? All resolutions regardless of monitor capabilities. So then what I would want Ken to do is to just display these modes for each of his 4 monitors, and let me go back and see if the missing resolutions are there for those monitors. My monitors aren't going to have any difference because they're all the same. I could try that. No, Baby Beast only has 1 monitor. Yeah, Rand is saying that it's all resolutions regardless of monitor capabilities. But see, that doesn't make sense to me because you're listing the modes, you're selecting that monitor and then listing all modes. So it's not obvious by the way that they're wording it. Display adapter properties for display 1. If I come up here and change the display, so here's Ken, what you do is come up here and change the display and then click Display Adapter Properties and list all modes. And then just click down 1 page at a time through that whole page, cancel out of there, go back and select the next monitor, choose Display Properties for number 3, list all modes, click through there, and to page down through them. Ken, I'm asking you to do that. And Ran, I'm not saying that I doubt what you're saying. I'm just saying that this is a Doug thing. I go check it out. I never just take somebody's word for it. Looks like I'm going to have to review what you just explained about the monitors on Kenstat Live's machines. Monitors can be confusing, especially when there's other software, and especially when Microsoft is so unclear about the way to communicate things to us, and the way DaVinci Resolve in this instance is so unclear about how they communicate things. Isn't that an epidemic in computer industry? Motherboard manuals, the same thing. Not clear in the way they word things. When there's other software in between, I would offer the advice to try to put the monitors in order you want to use them from the output of the computer, if that makes sense, using the default configuration from Windows. When I try swap, my display adapter has 2 HDMI ports and 2 display ports. And I've tried swapping the cables around, and it's just really confusing trying to use those to control the order of the monitors. And then the order of which monitor is going to show your access to BIOS. It's dependent upon not only which port on the display adapter that you're connected to, but whether you've used any conversion for the monitor that you're connected to. I've seen that seem to make a difference. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but using the software to configure things might complicate and create entanglement conflict like OBS. Yeah, you're getting into the world of quarks there, are you? Entanglement. In things like OBS, which seems to have the ability to reconfigure monitor configuration if I saw what I think I saw. That's what I'm thinking that is happening. I am all, because when he changed the primary monitor in DaVinci Resolve, that affected the monitor settings in OBS. So I think it actually affected the monitor settings in Windows. Kate Cordius Technology to LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts. Good morning. How are you doing today? The weather is nice in Houston. I'm going to guess, Kate Cordius, that you're on a mobile device where you had to type out the whole thing, because that's the only way you could have a misspelling of my name there. On a computer, of course, you type the at symbol and then LI and just click on the rest of it. You wouldn't type it all out. But on mobile devices, you have to type the whole thing out. That's why I'm not in orange. Juan Doug says, the subject that I've been monitoring for about a week now concerning with Macrium on a daily basis, 8:30 a.m. Macrium is supposed to do a differential backup, but is actually doing a full backup. Even says it on the screen, which I thought was odd. Then I started to monitor the storage drive, and it takes off for about 4 minutes doing a full backup. Send me some pictures. That's fascinating. Been monitoring for about a week now concerning Macrium. On a daily basis, 8:30 a.m., Macrium is supposed to do a differential backup, but is actually doing a full backup. It even says it on the screen, which I thought was odd. Then I started to monitor the storage drive, and it takes off for about 4 minutes doing a full backup instead of a differential, which used to take 15 seconds. I'm not sure what happened to the scheduling. It appears to be in order when you look it up in Macrium, but it's not following the instructions. Yeah, do a right click on the definition, the schedule definition for your full backup and for your differential backup, and give me a picture or a screenshot of what it shows in there, and a screenshot of what it shows when it's actually doing the backup. I'd love to see that. Obviously not. Let's see. All resolutions, regardless of the monitor capabilities, obviously not recommended, but for testing purposes. Yeah, I want to see if that actually does show capabilities for the monitor, even other than what that monitor is capable of. I have a hard time believing that. Yeah, now you should be in orange. I'm in orange. Oh, one other thing. Is Sin Vicious here today? Let's do Control F, SYN. No, Sin Vicious is not here. I think sometimes he watches in replay. I've got a channel comment from Sin Vicious. He says, Norton has been using customer systems to mine for Bitcoin for years. When I first saw that, I was a bit perturbed until I realized that he has a laugh emoji out here, and he intended that as a humorous comment. He did not intend that as a serious comment. I'd really rather not have humor like that. I understand. I'm believing and accept that he meant it as a humorous comment. The reason why I don't like that on anybody's tech channel is that some people reading chat messages will miss that there's a laugh emoji icon, or won't realize that you're not serious, and they'll turn around and quote that to someone else. I'm certain, I'm hoping Sin did not mean that seriously. I'm certain there is no way that Norton can get away with that, with all of the white hat hackers that are out there, the whistleblowers that are employed by Norton. Norton cannot get away with doing something like that as a company. I'm very uncomfortable with that kind of humor because it can be so easily taken seriously from people reading it. And now you're not in orange. Live Windows training. Oh, Grandpa Doug's. Oh, I see. You guys, because I'm on Grandpa, that's why. That's why it didn't work. You tried typing it all out, perhaps on a computer. I explained earlier that I wasn't able, you didn't see this, but I explained earlier that I wasn't able to configure for the redirect to Ken because I was on the Fortnite channel. This looks like I'm on the Live Windows Training channel. That's because I haven't refreshed this screen since I had changed to Fortnite, but since then I have changed back to this channel. Now if I come back to chat and do a refresh, well, I can't refresh here, so I have to actually close that, come back to chat, and let's see, restore chat, pop out chat again. Now I show up in orange. Yeah, thank you. That is the reason why Kate Cordius wasn't able to hit me in orange. Okay, well, it's time for the Ken Stout Show. If you want to send a question for me to respond to on a Windows Daily Show, you can send it to that email address. You can put a comment on any of my videos. You can ask your question in the chat room, and we'd be happy. We'd welcome you to when you show up in the chat room. We're a friendly community here. So, have a great day. So what was it? I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Bye. Here's Kenny.